Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into a development that's sending ripples across the European continent, as Denmark and Sweden take a coordinated step that many didn't expect, and even fewer are ignoring. At first glance, Denmark and Sweden are often seen as calm, consensus-driven countries, usually aligned with broader European norms rather than challenging them. That's exactly why their latest action has caught so much attention. What they've done is not loud or dramatic, but it's deeply symbolic, strategic, and potentially transformative for Europe's future direction. In recent months, both countries have moved in parallel to tighten policies related to security, borders, and migration, while also strengthening bilateral cooperation outside traditional EU frameworks. This is important because Europe has long relied on shared rules, open borders, and collective decision-making. When two core Nordic countries adjust their stance at the same time, it signals more than a domestic policy shift. It suggests a changing mood across Europe. Denmark and Sweden are responding to pressures that many European nations are feeling, but have struggled to address openly. These pressures include irregular migration, public concerns over security, rising political polarization, and a growing skepticism towards centralized European solutions. For years, Scandinavia was presented as a model of openness, generous asylum systems, strong welfare states, and a belief that integration could work with the right support. But reality has proven more complex. Both countries have faced challenges integrating large numbers of newcomers, particularly in urban areas where social tensions have increased. Public debates have grown sharper. Voters who once supported open policies are now demanding clearer limits and stronger enforcement. Denmark was among the first in Europe to openly say that migration needed to be reduced, not just managed. Sweden, long considered the most welcoming country in Europe, has now followed a similar path. This alignment alone is shaking long-held assumptions. The recent actions involve stricter border controls, closer monitoring of who enters and stays, and tougher rules around residency and citizenship. While these measures are framed as administrative or security-related, their political meaning is unmistakable. They mark a shift away from the idea that open borders are always beneficial. This directly challenges one of the EU core principles. The Schengen system is built on trust. Trust that all members will manage their external borders effectively. Trust that shared rules are enough to ensure internal security. When Denmark and Sweden reinforce their borders, even temporarily, it raises questions about whether that trust still exists. Other countries are watching closely. Some see these moves as validation of their own stricter approaches. Others worry this could lead to a domino effect. If more countries follow, Europe's internal freedom of movement could slowly erode. Beyond migration, there's also a strong security dimension. Northern Europe has become more strategically important in recent years. Geopolitical tensions, especially in Eastern Europe and the Baltic region, have changed how countries think about defense. Denmark and Sweden are strengthening cooperation on intelligence sharing, military readiness, and internal security. This cooperation sends a clear message. They are prioritizing national and regional security, even if it means acting more independently. For Sweden, this is particularly significant. Its traditional position of neutrality has already shifted in recent years. Now its internal policies are also becoming more aligned with a harder security mindset. Denmark, on the other hand, has long maintained opt-outs and special arrangements within the EU. Its influence lies in showing that selective participation is possible. Together, they present an alternative Nordic model, one that blends cooperation with control. Supporters argue this approach is realistic. They say it acknowledges real-world pressures rather than ideological ideals. They believe strong welfare systems can only survive if governments control who has access to them. From this perspective, tighter policies are not about exclusion, but sustainability, critics see it very differently. They warn that these actions undermine European solidarity. They argue that once countries start acting unilaterally, the EU's shared framework weakens. They also raise concerns about human rights and the treatment of vulnerable groups. The debate is intense, and it's far from settled. What makes this moment especially impactful is timing. Europe is already dealing with economic uncertainty. Inflation, energy transitions, and slow growth have strained public patience. At the same time, trust in institutions is declining. When well-established democracies like Denmark and Sweden change course, it legitimizes doubts elsewhere. Populist and nationalist parties across Europe are using these developments to support their argument. They point to Scandinavia and say, even the most liberal countries are tightening up. This gives political cover to tougher measures in Southern and Central Europe. It also complicates EU-level negotiations. Reaching consensus becomes harder when member states' priorities diverge so clearly. Another key aspect is public opinion. In both Denmark and Sweden, polls suggest broad support for stricter policies. This isn't just a government-driven move. It reflects changing attitudes among ordinary citizens. People are more concerned about crime, social cohesion, and economic pressure. Whether these concerns are fully justified or not, they are politically powerful. Governments ignore them at their own risk. This shift also affects Europe's global image. For years, Europe positioned itself as a humanitarian leader, open, rights-focused, and morally distinct from harsher systems elsewhere. If Nordic countries adjust that image, Europe's credibility on the global stage may change. Other regions may feel less pressure to accept migrants or uphold asylum standards. Internally, this could redefine what European values actually mean. Are they fixed principles or adaptable guidelines shaped by circumstance? Denmark and Sweden seem to be arguing for the latter. They're not rejecting cooperation. They're redefining its limits. They're saying national context matters. That policy must respond to social realities, not just ideals. This approach resonates with many governments quietly frustrated by EU constraints. At the same time, it raises a fundamental question. Can Europe remain united while allowing such divergent approaches? Or does unity require a shared direction, even when it's unpopular? The answer will shape Europe's next decade. There's also an economic angle. Labor shortages exist across Europe, including in Scandinavia. Restrictive policies may worsen these shortages in the long term. Balancing control with economic needs will be a major challenge. So far, Denmark and Sweden are betting that targeted migration and stricter integration will produce better outcomes. Whether that bet pays off remains to be seen. International reactions have been mixed. Some countries express understanding. Others express concern. EU institutions are cautious, avoiding direct confrontation while emphasizing shared commitments. Behind closed doors, however, debates are intense. Everyone knows this could set a precedent. If it works politically and socially, others will follow. If it fails, it will be used as a warning. What's undeniable is that Denmark and Sweden have shifted the conversation. They've moved the center of debate. Ideas that once seemed fringe are now mainstream. Questions that were avoided are now openly discussed. That alone is enough to shake Europe. This isn't just about borders or laws. It's about identity, about how Europe sees itself in a changing world, about how much openness is sustainable, about how security and freedom coexist. Denmark and Sweden are testing new answers to old questions. And Europe is watching, listening, and reacting. The coming months will be crucial. Policies will be refined. Public opinion will evolve. Political consequences will emerge. What happens next may redefine not only Nordic politics, but the European project itself. If you found this breakdown helpful and thought-provoking, make sure to stay tuned for more deep dives into the forces shaping our world. This story is far from over, and its impact will be felt well beyond Scandinavia.